I had the opportunity to work with Daniel in 2012. He put out a CD called Daniel Lantz Trio Plays Bond. The timing was absolutely perfect on it. It was around the time that Bond was releasing their movie, Skyfall. It really helped us with building the momentum of the CD and introducing Daniel as a leader to the American market. We then started talking about Beat Funktion. He was concerned that maybe the American market wouldn't be open to Beat Funktion because it had a very crossover sound to it. I felt like it was good timing. I felt like the release would be very well received because it was around the time that music was transitioning in jazz. And groups like Bad Plus and even the Headhunter was really kind of coming back around again. That sound was coming to the forefront, and I thought the timing would be perfect. And it was. We continued to work. Moontown was the first release, then Voodoo Land, then we moved on to Mandy's Secret, then Olympus, and then I'm very excited to be presenting Green Man.
Ja. Kanske lite mindre.
Ganska varmt. Du var själv.
Tjena Ida.
Ungdomar.
Okej, tjena. Johan. Jättebra.
Du var ganska...
Det kommer jag ihåg. Hejsan, hejsan.
Funkar tyvärr.
Tusen tack.
Gud, har du en CD-spelare?
Jag har en gammal bil så att jag har det.
Ja.
Jag lyssnar sjukt mycket på CD.
Ja, just.
Tusen tack.
My work with Beat Funktion has been, it's been a couple of years now that I've been around, and it really started off with me meeting Daniel, and we had common friends, also in music and family who were friends, and there's a lot of connections, and we're both keyboard players, which also made it interesting. So I think we kind of started off meeting and jamming a little bit, and giving ideas, sharing ideas. And my work with Beat Funktion have been from the beginning kind of as a co-producer with Daniel, coming up with ideas that maybe he, as a jazz kind of oriented keyboard player, wouldn't maybe think of. And me, I'm coming from the rock scene and I've done more pop and rock productions. So I kind of came with maybe more straight ideas or more ideas that could work, make it a little bit more, I don't know, not mainstream, but more focused maybe on some stuff. And also I think my studio has brought a good sound to their albums, and the environment I have in my gear.
All right.
Tjenare, hur är läget? Är det bra? Ja. Kul. Du också? Ja, det är fint. Det här blir jättekul.
Okay, a different mic. You brought your own mic, okay. It's become your friend. It's gonna be awesome. R&B från det ska ju vara gehör.
Fast det är nice att ha uppstyrt och sen kan man ju...
Framförallt så är det blir ju tidseffektivt. Tänk vilken tid det skulle ta om man skulle lära ut allt det här på gehör.
Vi kan nog säga att vi har inte spelat heller.
Alla.
Fast jag får känslan av att ni
Jag har
är
inte
så
spelat den
perfekta
här.
så när ni får noterna så bara...
Det ordnar sig.
Kommer det gå...
Ingen har spelat de här låtarna.
Jazz funk from Sweden. I mean, I was familiar with a number of groups and great jazz players from Sweden, but I was kind of dubious about jazz funk from Sweden. I mean, Uppsala is not Detroit. So upon my first listening to the album, quite honestly, I felt maybe it was a bit stilted or stiff, maybe a bit too precise, but I think my initial reaction was biased by my doubts. However, when I listened to the album for the second time, I started to understand it. These guys are funky, and they have their own funk feel, undoubtedly filtered through their own Swedish heritage. Mandy's Secret, and that's this one here. And this remains my favorite album of theirs. I played this one a lot on my show. And then last year, they released Olympus, which is a concept album that contained a lot of great new compositions. I'm eagerly anticipating their next release, which they're now working on. It's about to be released quite soon, in fact. It's going to be called Green Man.
På något sätt.
Ja, när man gör så, ändra det.
Det här är sjukt lyxigt att sitta och lyssna på sånt bra band. Ja, fantastiskt.
Jag kör lite där nu i alla fall. Testar.
And I got an email from a friend of mine, John, and he sent me an email and said, "Have you heard this band?" And it's always nice when it's from a friend, you also give it a little extra listen. You go, yeah, okay, this could be good. And wow, it was one of those moments where you often hope you get those moments where you get an email, you press play and you go, oh yeah. And that was one of the moments. I heard Beat Funktion straight away in the album Olympus, and I was up and rocking around the room when I was listening to Olympus. I was like, oh damn!
Just det var det introt där, Paul.
My relationship with Beat Funktion is very interesting. These guys are absolutely amazing. You know, I think I don't know how. I still scratch my head and ponder and wonder how did they take the 60s and the 70s and mesh it up into now with jazz, soul, and that urban funk. When I met them, let's put it this way, had I listened to the music before I met them, I wouldn't have thought they were who they are. And that's a compliment, because they're just that good. They're really amazing musicians, and they're like the nicest guys, so humble to have the success they've had independently is unheard of.
Traditionally, straight-ahead jazz really has been to the forefront in the American market. And I just felt that the jazz genre was really making a change, really embracing kind of a more today and fresh sound. And many releases later, I think that theory was proved through #1 on the charts, critical acclaim, release after release was accepted with great response, good fan base support, and radio loves Beat Funktion.
Alltså det är så. Det kanske är lättare för läraren vad jag hör. Det läser man. Lite skumma partier där i C då. Lite out sådär. Vi testar.
Personally, I've always been, preferred instrumental music because I have a background in classical music, symphonic music, and other stuff. And a lot of 19th century composers, wrote tone poems. where instrumental music actually had just a title, and everything was left to your imagination. And instrumental music to me, it gives you a more open-ended experience. You can sort of, fantasize about whatever you want along those lines. So if you compare that to a vocal song, it's kind of a completely different way of listening and enjoying music. We felt we wanted to try something new and go all the way with vocals. On Olympus, we had tried proper vocals for the first time, and we noticed it was a good thing. It opened the ears of quite a few new listeners, in particular the listeners who weren't too acquainted with instrumental jazz music. And so with Green Man, we went all the way by having as many as 8 soloists.
I'm in love in vain, and I'm trying to keep tomorrow.
Baby, let's rewind our love.
When we are young, we want to the heat of the moonshine,
and I push to show it's me.
She's got a smile for everyone.
Did you catch the word of the Lord's master plan? You know, power and greed go hand in hand.
Over the ocean, through evil.
It's like a jazz band, and then when they put the lyrics on top with the catchy, funky, and they were long tracks. They weren't 3-minute tracks. These were, 8-9 minutes of solid music where the lyrics would come in, it would get you up, it was funky, and there was time for the instruments to breathe, and then it would go into the vocals again, and it kept you going. So when they announced they were doing an album which had more vocals, it felt like a natural, perfect progression. Not only are they brilliant instrumentally, but lyrically there's so many elements to them. So you can listen to a track once and you'll hear it and enjoy it. You can listen to it again and you'll just listen to the keys. Listen to it again, just listen to the trumpets. Listen to it again and then listen to the lyrics. Wonderful. That's the great thing about Beat Funktion and their music is there are so many layers to it.
I think that each player is a key element to the recipe of success of the sound. And that core ensemble of Beat Funktion is so strong. You can hear the friendship, you can hear the chemistry. So no matter what guest artists are layered on top of the sound, you still have that core ensemble of the guys of Beat Funktion, the core of the sound. And anything on top of that is just icing on the cake.
I see Green Men in a different way. It's like I now, because it is, as the album cover is, it's a street light. And I don't think I'd ever see a street light again and not think of Beat Funktion. As soon as I see that Green Man and the premise of having to wait in life and you keep thinking something's going to happen and it doesn't, it's going to live with me forever, the whole Green Man. So that's why I'm glad it's a very good album.
We felt with Green Man, by having a few instrumentals with vocals, we sort of, catered for everyone, so there's something in there regardless of your taste.